The day I found out I had won $80 million, my whole body went numb. The numbers on the ticket blurred in front of me, my hands trembling so hard I nearly dropped it. 80 million. Enough to change everything. Enough to free me from every worry, every insecurity, every sleepless night I had spent wondering how to survive. But I didn't scream. I didn't celebrate. I didn't even tell my boyfriend, Marcus. Instead, I tucked the ticket deep into my purse and whispered to myself, "This is my secret." Why? Because I needed to know the truth about him. I needed to know if he loved me, or only what I could give him. Marcus and I had been together for 3 years. He was charming, the kind of man who could walk into a room and draw every eye. When we first met, I thought he was everything I ever wanted, confident, funny, ambitious. But over time, small cracks began to show. He never helped with bills. He borrowed money and forgot to pay it back. He teased me for working 2 jobs, but still expected me to cook, clean, and smile as if exhaustion didn't weigh me down. Whenever I asked him for support, emotional or financial, he always had excuses. "I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. You know I'm not good with money. Stop nagging me." Part of me knew the truth. But love makes fools of us all. So when I won the lottery, I decided not to tell him. Not yet. I needed to see him without the mask. I needed to test him. The next week, I told Marcus a lie. I told him I was in trouble. "Marcus," I said one evening, my voice trembling, "I'm behind on rent. My car needs repairs. I don't know how I'm going to manage." He barely looked up from his phone. "Babe, you always stress too much. It'll work out." "I really need help," I pressed. "Could you lend me something? Even just a few hundred, until I catch up?" He sighed, annoyed. "You know I don't have that kind of money lying around. Why are you putting this pressure on me?" My chest tightened. He didn't even try. I smiled weakly and said nothing, but inside, I marked the first strike against him. 2 days later, I raised the stakes. "Marcus," I whispered one night as we lay in bed, "what if something happened to me? What if I couldn't work anymore? Would you take care of me?" He laughed. Actually laughed. "Babe, don't be dramatic. You know I'm not the provider type. That's not me." My heart turned cold. The second strike. But the third test revealed everything. I pretended to be truly desperate. I told him I might have to move back in with my parents if I couldn't make ends meet. I watched his face carefully, hoping for some sign of compassion. Instead, his eyes lit up. "You know what," he said. "Maybe that's for the best. Your parents have money, right? They'll take care of you." And honestly, he smirked, "It'd be less stressful for me." I stared at him, stunned. The man who claimed to love me would have let me sink, just to free himself from responsibility. That was the moment my love for him died. But my desire for revenge was born. I didn't want to simply leave him. That would be too easy. No, he needed to feel the weight of what he'd thrown away. So I played along. I let him think I was struggling, helpless, dependent on him. I let him believe I had no other options. Meanwhile, I quietly hired lawyers, financial advisors, and security experts. I built a wall of protection around myself and my winnings. And then I prepared the perfect reveal. One Friday evening, I invited Marcus to dinner at a fancy restaurant. I told him it was my treat, that I wanted to thank him for being there for me. He grinned, greedy, already eyeing the wine list. Halfway through the meal, I leaned forward. "Marcus," I said softly, "I have something to tell you." He smirked, thinking I was about to confess weakness again. Instead, I slid an envelope across the table. Inside was a copy of the lottery check, the numbers blazing in black ink, $80 million. His eyes nearly popped out of his head. What is this?" "It's my new life," I said calmly. "And you're not part of it." He stammered, reaching for my hand. "Babe, wait, I didn't mean, look, I was just stressed before, of course I'd help you, I love you." I pulled my hand back. "No, Marcus. When I needed you most, you chose yourself. You laughed at me. You left me alone. Now you can stay there, alone." The color drained from his face. He realized, in that instant, what he had lost. $80 million. And me. I walked out of that restaurant without looking back. For the first time in years, I felt light. Free. Powerful. Marcus tried calling, begging, even threatening afterward. But I had already cut him off, changed my number, erased him from every corner of my life. I built a new world for myself and for the people who truly mattered, my family, my friends, those who had stood by me when I had nothing. As for Marcus, he was left with exactly what he had given me, nothing. And that was my revenge. Because sometimes the cruelest punishment isn't anger or violence, it's letting someone see what they could have had, and knowing they'll never touch it. The end.